following program is rated G. It is suitable for all audiences.
Understanding the basic concepts of child and adolescents development.
This video tackles about some of those periods of childhood development: infancy, toddlerhood, and early childhood. Let's define first what child is. According to UNICEF, the term child comes from the Latin infans, which means the one who do not speak, meaning to say they can express what they feel and what they want to say verbally. So the child are just going to give tantrums and cry. Now that we are done in defining what child is, let's now proceed to the period of childhood development. And here are some development tasks which are races together with infancy and early childhood, which lead them to happiness and to success if they achieve it successfully. Number 1, being able to walk. Number 2, being able to talk. Number 3, being able to taste solid foods. Number 4, being able to control the elimination of body waste. Number 5, being able to differentiate the mental functions and human behavior of both sexes and develop sexual modesty. Number 6, relate emotionally to parents. And the last one, the latter part of the stage, the child can little by little be able to read. Now that we are done in discussing the two periods of childhood development, here are some changes in one person in infancy and early childhood as compared to middle childhood and adolescence. The number 1 that changes in one person is that their senses and motor skills are developed. Number 2, child are not lack in object permanence. And lastly, their imagination and memory are also improved. I hope that you have learned from me.
Middle childhood of development starts 6 to 12 years of age. Now, let us define what is middle childhood of development. Middle childhood is a time when children develop foundational skills for building healthy social relationships and learn roles that will prepare them for adolescence and adulthood. The characteristics of middle childhood stage is to know and guide themselves to those possible outcomes of their natural environment in this society. They become more think clearly in every situation that they have to overcome as dependency, vulnerability, and resiliences. According to Berman, there's a lot of development tasks in middle childhood theory, and these are, they can do the following. Number 1, learning physical skills necessary for ordinary games. Number 2, building wholesome attitudes toward oneself as a growing organism. 3, learning to get along with age mates. 4, learning an appropriate masculine or feminine social role. 5, developing fundamental skills in reading, writing, and calculating. 6, developing concepts necessary for everyday living. 7, developing conscience, morality, and a scale of values. 8, achieving personal independence. And lastly, developing attitudes towards social groups or institutions.
How do you define the word adolescence? In this stage of adolescence, we're experiencing some physical changes and emotional changes. So, example in physical changes. In the boys become bigger, Adam's apple become bigger, shoulders become wider than the hips, hair grows on the face, body, and fabric area, and the skin on the upper arms and thighs become rough. In the girls, the breast develops, hips become wider than the shoulders, and the hairs grow on the underarm and pubic area.
following program is rated G. It is suitable for all audiences.
So, stages of cognitive development by Piaget. The cognition in this theory refers to the collection of mental processes and activities used in perceiving, learning, remembering, thinking, understanding, and the act of using those processes. There are 4 stages of cognitive development. The first stage is the sensory motor stage, 0 to 2 years. Start to develop the motor senses like sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. Infants understand the world through motor senses. The second one is the pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. The hallmark of this stage is the emergence of language. Children now begin to use words and features to represent objects. So, the third stage of this cognitive development by Piaget is the concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. The main aspect of this stage is the development of logical reasoning. So, our last stage in this cognitive development is the formal operational stage, adolescence to adulthood, performing mental operation without needing physical assistance.
So what is Vygotsky social-cultural theory? It is one of the most known theories in the field of education, which defines learning as a product of social process, and that human intelligence is generated by society's cultures and social interaction. The environment of child greatly contributes to how he or she thinks, as well as what they are thinking about. Language is a very important tool for learning to be imparted to the child and a person. It is through language that ideas are communicated, and therefore considered to play a critical in the cognition of development of the child. In the cognitive development of the child, there are some factors which answers the questions like how, who, and when. So let's proceed first to the answer of question when. Zone of proximal development. What is zone proximal development? It is a period or a right timing in teaching a child. It is also essential to maximize the learning of a child. The child must be cognitively prepared and willing to ask help, tutor, and assistance guides from someone who is more knowledgeable. So now let's proceed to the answer of question who. MKO or more knowledgeable others are the one who teach, assist, and tutor the child. And it is also crucial because whatever method he chooses will have a great or strong impact to the child's learning. MKO or more knowledgeable others are not just only those teachers who teach and guides us in the school, but also those computers, laptops, internet, books, and other learning aids. So for the last one that we're going to discuss is the answer of the question how. Scaffolding. So what is scaffolding? Scaffolding is a process through which a teacher adds supports for the students in order to enhance the learning and aids in the mastery of the class. And according to Vygotsky, the best way to teach the learners is just by giving enough and not too much. Enough here means there is a room for learners to experience the process or the learning process itself, and not just by passively listening or watching the teachers doing it. And now that we are done, we're going to summarize all the learnings included in the Vygotsky social cultural theory. Number 1, in cognition development of a child, there is a when, and it is the zone proximal development, CPD, wherein the child must be cognitively prepared. And number 2, the MKO, which stands for more knowledgeable others. And they are the one who will assist, guide, and teach the learners. But don't forget that MKO, not just only those person, but also it can be a gadget. And the last one is the answer of the question how. Through scaffolding, which is the process through which a teacher adds supports for the students to enhance the learning and aid in the mastery of the class. Now we're totally done in discussing Vygotsky social cultural theory. I hope that you have learned from me. Once again, I am Danica Imacanos reporting.
Discovery Learning by Jerome Bruner. Bruner gives the idea that the students can learn or construct their own knowledge by themselves. Bruner gives the three modes of representation such as the enactive, iconic, and symbolic. In order for us to understand these three modes of representation, here is an example. A teacher gives an action-based activity such as a role-playing, which the students can manipulate themselves or to experience on what that activity are portraying. After that, the teacher will use visual representation such as PowerPoint presentation, video presentation, and other platforms. And after that, the teacher will use more language or text or written essays or documents in teaching the lesson. And Bruner gives also the idea of spiral curriculum, which means that the knowledge of the students will start from a little part, and as the time goes on, the knowledge will improve until the students get its mastery. That is a brief explanation about Bruner's discovery learning theory.
And for today's video, we are going to discuss or to explain about multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner. Let us first talk about naturalists. In this kind of multiple intelligences, it is a huge complementary compliance of the world. In such things that is relevant to those people who loves our environment and enjoy traveling in different countries. They discover anything that they want to like. An example of this is botanists who study of plants, zoology who study of animals, and also environmentalist frequency of our society. Next is visual. In these multiple intelligences can organize things they like to see what you are talking about in order to understand well the things that they want to know. The skills can be applied like puzzle, building, painting, constructing, fixings, and designing objects, and also for careers like sculptor, artist, inventor, architect, mechanic, and engineer. Next is logical intelligences. Can apply the factors whose great and truly understand and love all numbers, figures, and analyzing problem solving and reasoning to those children. The careers that you want to be in this kind of multiple intelligences are scientists, mechanical engineering, accountants, mathematicians, and architecture. Next one is verbal. These multiple intelligences have something ability to demonstrate their strength in language, speaking, or arts, such as writing, reading, listening, and teaching. The opportunity that you want to have a career in these multiple intelligences are poet, journalist, writer, teacher, lawyer, politician, and translator. Bodily kinesthetic in this kind of multiple intelligences, those people have a high level of energy. In every activities, they can actually gain confidence in games, dancing, sports, and hard experiments. And the career that you want to be in this intelligence are PE teacher, dancer, athlete, actor, and firefighter. Next is musical. Those people who loves and enjoy the fun of music learning lifestyle, like songs, pattern, rhythm, and playing instruments. The career that exactly need for this passion are musician, singer, and composer. Intrapersonal. In this kind of multiple intelligences, who are especially in touch with their own feelings by themselves, to calm and to demonstrate everything. The future must be researcher, theorists, and philosophers. Lastly is interpersonal. May be different in intrapersonal because these intelligences show their feelings, thoughts, and ideas that can share to others that is prominently. Career that you can be is like a teacher.
What I learned in Unit 1 was about the child and adolescent development. There are different stages of human development, and there are also different changes that take place in a person. Just like example, in men they have matured and there is a change in them just like Adam's apple, and change in their voice if we hear them speak their voice more than the voice of women. If men, there is a change as well as in a women. So, first, they will have a breast, and sometimes in women, their armpits are already overgrown with hair. So, from what I learned about human development or child and adolescent development, my knowledge will expand, and I can share my knowledge with other young people. So let's proceed to Unit 2. Unit 2 is all about cognitive development of Piaget. So there are 4 stages. First stage is sensory motor stage, 0 to 2 years. The second stage is pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. The third stage is concrete operational stage, 7-11 years. It is a 3 major achievement during this stage: the reversibility, the center of conversation, and the last stage is formal operational stage, adolescent and adulthood. And the Piaget believe that learners are not passive and individuals. There are means that the learner is responsible for learning while the teacher is responsible for facilitating learning. So that's all. Thank you. Sociocultural theory by Vygotsky. Vygotsky, we have 3 main concepts related to cognitive development. First is culture is significant in learning. Second is language is the root of culture. And last is individuals learn and development within their role in the community. And next is discovery learning by Bruner. So, a major theme is the theoretical framework of Bruner is that learning, that an active process in which learners construct new ideas or concepts based upon their current past knowledge. So, this is a discovery learning by Bruner. Next is multiple intelligences or MI by Howard Gardner. We have 9 types of intelligence. First is naturalist, nature smart. Second is musical, sound smart. Third is logical, mathematical, number reasoning, smart. Fourth is existential, life smart. Fifth is interpersonal, people smart. Sixth is bodily, kinesthetic, body smart. 7 is linguistic, word smart. 8 is intrapersonal, self smart. And last is 9, spatial, picture smart. So, that's all. Thank you.